And you're all putting in the work, and I'm really happy about that. Okay? Just keep showing up. Keep coming to meetings. That's how this thing works. Okay? Okay, and I see we have a new person at our meeting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Actually, I have an activity we can all do together. We should go to Plastic City Comic Con. There's just so much to do there. There's comic books, toys, games, anything you can ask for.
Wait, do you work for Plastic City Comic Con?
Me? Work for Plastic City Comic Con?
But we're all going to Plastic City Comic Con, right? I thought so. Now, who here owes me money?
Plastic City Comic-Con! Saturday, August 19th. Game On Sports Complex, Fitchburg, Massachusetts. PlasticCityComicCon.com for info and tickets.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots, promoter for the Plastic City Comic-Con. With me, as always, is Johnny C., creator of Sartana, Surrounded by Death and the Pond. And then our new third host, Harry Gerasturgios.
Very good.
Someday, Keith. Someday
Sounds
I'll
like
get it one of these days.
Sounds
Graphic
like a-
designer extraordinaire.
Sounds like a Greek cereal almost.
Yeah. Is that how you say it, Harry? Gerasturgios?
Gero, it's like, well, the way that I explain it to people is if you break it down to the three parts, like Gero, stir, like it's stirring something, and then just Gero Sturgis.
Gerasturgios. Okay, I gotta
Yeah,
try to
yeah.
remember that for the
Yeah.
next one.
It's
How you
Harry
gents
G's, man.
doing this week?
doing all right so far. It's an early week, you know.
I
Early
ain't
in
gonna
the
lie, today was fucking brutal.
Was
Sucked.
it well, Johnny?
Oh,
You just
God.
got back from a con, right?
Oh, let's not even talk about that. Let's not even talk about that. Let's skip
Oh,
right
no.
over that.
Now I want to talk about
No, we're not gonna talk about it. We can't talk about it. I'm legally bound not to talk about it.
it. Wow. Okay, off the air, I need to hear why.
No, I'm joking. I'm not legally bound not to talk
Okay.
about it, but I will tell you about it, but we're not gonna talk about it publicly.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's just
I
only for the
also
sake of
had-
employment.
It's what?
It's for the sake of employment.
Oh, gotcha. Say no more.
Yeah.
I also
And
had
to-
to start on the street yesterday.
Oh, well, can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was good.
good?
It's but it's like every show this year. I feel like we say this after every show. It's like it's not as good as the year before, or you know what I mean, like money wise.
Yeah.
Like we still did good, but you compare it to the previous year, and it's like it's not as good. You know what I mean? Like it's
So-
just
The one thing I can say about Mid-Hudson Comic Con, which I was attending at this past weekend, is that a street fair was happening at the very same time in
Oh,
a very
man.
impoverished neighborhood. That's all I'll say about that.
okay. Okay.
So you did well then?
Real well. Like I went right down the well.
Oh my god.
We
And
all
then
floor
today was nonstop with work, and like,
Ah.
literally, if I wasn't working on a work thing, I was working on a comic thing. So just nonstop all day long. So like
That sucks.
this
if
is
you
the
don't
first
have
break I
day
had all
off.
day is hanging out with you guys.
Oh my God.
Same here, actually.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, it's one of those days.
Busy.
I
And
always take the Monday off after a show just because it's just
I wish I had that.
I just need that time to like decompress basically, so
I forgot to decompress from like 2018. I'm still wound
Oh,
up from then.
oh god. Yeah, it's been a hell of a last week was like nuts, like with the flood on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then like for some reason on Thursday, my I have an external hard drive that I store all my lettering work on, and all of my Mighty Mascots files, and all just decided to not work. And I was like, oh shit. So like I
was
I
any of
brought
it backed up?
no, and it was on a backup. It was on like an external. Like I had all.
Did you lose everything permanently, or do you have like?
Well,
stuff?
that I'm waiting to find out. So I brought it over to Best Buy, the Geek Squad, to see if they could recover it, gain access to it, and they couldn't do it. So now they're sending it out to a data recovery place for me.
That's not
So I'll
gonna be
know
cheap.
in like 4 weeks if I'm going to be able to get all that data back. And it just sucks because like I have all my phone pictures and videos on there too, and just I even have like shit I did for you, Johnny, on there, like the Surrounded by Death pages and the and the pond, all that stuff is on there. I'm hoping they can recover it, you know.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's so
it's not the end of the world, but it is really a major setback, you know, like if I can't recover it.
Do you have Dropbox or any cloud services?
I do. Yeah, I have Dropbox, I have G Drive, and I also have
are they full size? Like do you have like, or do you pay for it, or you just use the free option?
I use the free, but I like when it first started with Dropbox, I was able to get a lot of space because I, you know, recommended it and did all the, the clicks and buzzes that they had to do at the beginning, you know.
All
so
the
I have
hoops to
about
make a jump through.
Yeah, like I have about 10 G's worth of space there.
So just real quick, I actually have the like terabyte option of the Dropbox, and all my projects I keep and I operate out of those folders. So no matter what happens, it's there, it's backed up. So all my comic pages, every comic project, everything is in that Dropbox folder. So I always know. And then because of that, because all my comic work is stored there, I can write off that annual subscription and get a little bit of that back at the end of the year for taxes.
That's a good idea.
And that's worth it.
How much do you pay for the Dropbox a year?
I think it's like up to $120 now, but it's a lot of space. It's like I'll never run out of space.
Yeah, and you'll always have access to it all.
Right. And if there's other things I need it for, I can use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But primarily it's just so that way I can make sure that all of my comic stuff, videos I edit, things like that are all onto here. Now you can actually link your phone to it too. So if you
that's
you
pretty
take
nice.
you take those photos that you want to make sure that don't get lost ever, they go right up into there.
Yeah.
You know? We should get we should call Dropbox and see if they want to sponsor us.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, because if I need to reprint more mascots, I could, if I had to, I could just run them on a scanner and grab the pages. But I'm hoping they can recover it.
You try punching the drive to see like the fawns to see if you can like.
I didn't do that.
ROM.
I looked up the error
blade and scrape the ROM. Yeah,
I looked up the error message I was getting when I was trying to access it, and it sounds like it's something that a real computer tech person could probably open it and get into it.
Was there any clicking? Like, did you hear clicking of the hard drive at all?
No, it just like it would. When I plugged it into a couple different computers just to make sure that it was the hard drive and not my actual laptops.
Yeah,
it would see the drive there. But when you went to click on the drive and open up all the files or the file tree, it just would not do that. So it could see the drive, but it couldn't get access to the file.
Yeah, it's the indexing was broken or something.
There
might be something that's missing in the registry, or that's corrupt, that doesn't allow it to move to the next index. So
right,
I can
that's why I'm
understand
hoping this recovery team can kind of get in there and grab everything and then put it on a new drive for me.
Fingers crossed for you, man. Hopefully, we can recover all that.
Absolutely. So last week with the flooding and then that at the end of the week was
just bad luck.
Super bad luck week. Yeah, exactly.
It's tough.
But at least I'm back in the studio and I feel more comfortable and not.
That's good. And you don't have a river running through your house like some other people in Leominster.
Right, exactly.
Somehow I missed everything. I'm like
You're lucky,
like-
dude.
I'm like 2 to 5 minutes away from all the like sinkholes and like
Yeah, there's still
flooding and
streets
everything.
closed all over Leominster
Right.
still, like, because
Yeah.
like all that.
One point I'd like to make is that if we have a bad winter, I don't know where all this water is going to go because
Well,
there's
that's what I'm
still
saying.
water seeped into the ground, right?
I hope the weather pattern changes soon because can you imagine if all this rain was snow instead of
Yeah, no
we,
shit.
we
huh?
Rain
need like
would be like-
we need 3 weeks to a month of dry heat to like absorb all this water.
we would have to tunnel out.
not
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Like
Buy your
the-
rowboats now, people. This is
day
it.
after-
This is the Noah's Ark that's
the
coming
day after
back
tomorrow.
again. This is the Noah's Ark reboot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Let's say hello to the chat before we
Yep.
bring in our guest tonight. Ara's with us. What's up, man?
So glad you're here, Ara. We
Yeah,
love
good
having
to
you,
see you,
man.
buddy. I haven't seen you in a lot of shows this
I
year,
know.
but I
know.
haven't been at a lot of cons. You know, I've been more at street festivals. I got a bunch coming up in the next few weeks. I don't know about you, Johnny, but did you get out? Did you tell Hero Shack about the comic book fest?
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
that-
Which bummed me out because I really enjoyed going to that show.
Yeah.
The Athol Public Library, right? I believe.
Yeah,
Is-
yeah.
yeah. The Athol Public Library, real generous and nice hosts to all of us indie creators. Hero Shack has a really awesome little convention that they do there, and they were gracious enough to have me back, but unfortunately, fortunately for me, I was picked for NYCC.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, it means I have to miss that other show.
yeah.
Nobody attended TerraCon this weekend.
I
With,
heard it. I mean, there was
Robert-
some people there, right? Robert Englund,
Robert
and,
Englund, yeah,
Lance
and,
Henriksen. They must have had somewhat of a crowd.
Mankind.
I
was
know.
there.
Oh, Mankind.
Yeah, he was there.
Scott, who I work with at the store, was set up as an artist, and he told me it wasn't great for him, but he did make some money. There was a customer that came and spent a lot with him, but if it wasn't for that guy, he said the show would have been a disaster.
Because everybody's going to go to Monster Expo instead.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Our pal Joe Souza.
Big shout out
Hell
to Joe
yeah.
Souza.
Roland says, great way to end a dreary day. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks,
Good to see you
Roland.
back here.
Yeah.
Dismay, which is Brandon, one of our guests, is in
Brandon,
the
he's
chat.
sitting
Awesome.
patiently in the green room. Yep.
Yeah, we'll be bringing him in very shortly here. Let's see. What is this? Using the old NDA trick to stay quiet, Johnny. His hard drive failed. Yeah. 3, 2, 1 backup protocol. 3 copies, 2 mediums, 1 offline. Yeah,
Yep,
I gotta start
that's
doing
a
that.
pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good rule of
My
thumb.
buddy
there.
Chase said what happened. hope you heard my explanation.
Yeah.
And Ara said what Roland said. Yeah, unfortunately, I gotta do something like that.
Yep.
And she says it's worth to pay for some cloud storage for the vitals. Yeah, like
Yep.
we were just saying, Johnny.
Yep. I do it.
Google offers 15 free gigs shared between all services. Yeah, I have that one as well. So I have OneDrive, I have Google Drive, and I have Dropbox. So
You'll
I
be
have
surprised how much email builds up.
Oh
that can
yeah,
actually fill those things.
you have to go and
Because
like,
there's a lot
clear
of
it out.
it's your
once in a
junk
while.
mail too. It'll read your junk mail as space. There's a little few. That's a good offer, and definitely capitalize on that. But you'll be surprised how much just junk space is there in that 15 gigabytes.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to constantly clean it out. Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the problem with
PDFs,
those
things
things.
like that.
Good evening, ladies. Roger
Ladies,
Maraca. Roland's asking if it's a physical spinning plate or is it flash memory?
Spinning plate, I'm willing to bet.
Probably.
What size is the drive? Do you know? 3.5? Full size drive or a smaller drive? You said laptop, right?
Yeah, so
It's a
it's
3.5.
Yeah, and it's
It-
I think it was 100 gig drive or 200 gig or something like
It
that.
probably looked like this.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah.
That's a laptop. Did it have the green back with the circles?
Yep.
Yep, that's a spinning drive.
Okay. And then
That came
yeah,
out on
so
PlayStation.
that's it. What'd she say? That's a good question, Roland. Not sure. It's an old external hard drive though. It's close to 10 years, I think. And is a regular spinning plate given the age. It's like something related to mechanical failure. Yeah, that's what it feels like, according to the message too I was getting. Jeff Holman, what's up, man?
What's up, Jeff?
Good to see you, man. Screw Monster X.
Fuck that.
Guess he
No,
must not.
Monster Expo is awesome. It's a great show. I don't condone.
Yeah, why
that
does he like
statement.
Monster Expo?
I don't know, but I don't condone that statement.
I don't either. I mean, I don't do the show, but I like it. You know, like I don't have much for horror stuff, which is, you know, something I should fix at some point. Red Dead Press, hail all. Hey man, thanks for joining us. Let's see. My wife said my thoughts too. Rolling the data recovery place is going to give Keith a quote. So yeah, so that's what we're waiting on. And then Ara said, I've been busy with work and taking care of my mom, so I haven't been to too many cons. Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll see you at some point, you know? Awesome. But and then Jeff, what did Jeff say here? We are not welcome to Monster Expo. Jesus Christ.
Your guys' reputation precedes you.
One more thing before we
Thanks,
go. When we bring the guests, Johnny, have you tried the new Coke yet? The Y3000 Coke?
Hang on, I lost you guys. What'd you say?
Have you tried the new Y3000 Coke yet?
What? What's that taste like?
So, dude, it's Coke that was co-created with AI. So it's
oh my God.
Dude, it's good though. It's
good.
The gun.
Look. Coke pissed me off with Ultimate Coke. You know what? You want to know why? You can't call something
like Coke, right?
Ultimate. That wasn't the Ultimate Coke. That tasted like Coke if Coke was made by Pepsi. There's some sabotage that was happening in the formula of that Ultimate Coke.
To me, it just tasted like Coke with like I don't know. But
good.
you know what this tastes like? RC Cola.
Is that full sugar or is it only in diet?
I did both. I've tried both. It's I like it. I bought a 10-pack. I'm gonna buy another 10-pack this week. I would recommend it.
Where did you find it? What store?
I found it in a few Cumberland Farms.
Okay.
Not every convenience store has it yet.
Okay.
I literally just saw it for the first time last week. So
what does it taste like? Like what's special about it?
I think it to me it tastes like RC Cola. So like they probably asked
a sugary
AI.
cola.
Yeah, like a better tasting cola. They probably asked AI to come up with a better cola, and they just kind of came up with that. You know, I don't know. Try it though. I liked it. I think it's cool. Love you guys.
Jeff, you're the best.
Hope your mom is doing okay, Ara. Yeah, same Ara. I hope your mom's doing well.
Yeah, likewise.
Keith loves Robot Coke.
Coke.
Johnny C, where the F did your hair go? LOL.
All right.
Oh my God.
Hello guys, I got my ponytail. It's just all wrapped up in the back.
She is stable, just getting older and a few liver issues, but it's good. I'm glad.
Tell me about it. My old man's going through stuff too, so I completely understand. I got to bring him to dialysis twice a week. So
we've all been there.
And my mother's getting older too, and so bunch of one of those things you just got to put into your schedule now.
Exactly,
life, But without further ado, we should probably bring in tonight's guest. So
enough blabbing. Let's bring the guests in.
So we have a new guest that's here for the first time, and then also a returning guest. So we have Brandon Ingram, who's a returning guest, who's been with us before. And then tonight we have a new guest, Tim Lee Olson, and they both have projects on Kickstarter. And then Tim actually has a project on Fund My Comics, which is a new platform I've heard about. Which I'd love to hear.
Heard of it?
It's a new one that just popped up.
With it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that too. So, without further ado, let's start with Brandon. Brandon, welcome to the show. Good to see you again, man.
Doing pretty good. This is my pajamas, basically. I got home from work, hopped into my sleepwear. I'm good to go.
You started looking up conspiracy theories on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But those X-ray specs, though, man,
I love it.
It must be great.
Yeah, I actually had to put my prescription glasses over them because if I take them off, like you guys are just blurs. You're blobs. But now I can see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then our second guest, Tim Lee Olson. Hey, Tim.
How's
for
it
joining
going?
us.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks you for joining us. We've had Brandon on the show before, but
I don't have a crazy hat. I do apologize to the viewers.
That means you're probably normal, right?
I was outstaged by the crazy guy.
No, I like that he showed up with a costume. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He
all part
cosplay
of the
for
work.
us. What's
I
that?
don't
What'd
know
you
what
say,
you're
Johnny?
talking about with
all-
costume.
That's awesome. So, Tim, since you're a new guest, the one thing we always kind of start off the show with, we love to know people's origins, like how they got into the making comics, and like
was fun with that one.
Yeah, right.
When you see my mom and dad one day.
Yeah, right. Well, we always point it back. I always find that the origin of a creator can start with a comic they loved as a kid, or a TV show, or or movie. Is there something in your past you can kind of point to that puts you on this?
Well, I was on a camping trip. I was sitting in the back of my grandpa's truck. He had kind of converted it to he put seats in there, and he had to put seat belts so you could sit back there. And my brother, he bought X-Force #1, and he didn't like it. So I'm sitting there, and he walks by, here, you want this? And he just throws it to me, and I just loved it. So you put back in the bag and just kind of, here, I don't like this. And so,
so it was like the Rob Liefeld X-Force #1, the 90s one. Yeah, awesome.
Do you remember what card it came with?
Yeah, the Deadpool card's the rare one. I had the Deadpool one.
Did you have the Deadpool one?
Nice.
He used the card to put in between the spokes of his bicycle. I don't remember what happened to it. I just remember I was like, I didn't even know who Cable was. I didn't know any of these characters, but I knew that they were fighting the Mutant Liberation Front for some reason, and the fight between Reaper and Shatterstar was awesome. He cut his hand off and didn't kill him. He just kicks him in the chest.
That's a good one to start with, though, because that was a big comic in the 90s.
It was a big deal.
It was Marvel's reformat of New Mutants, basically.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to take New Mutants and make it Ultimate, and so they did that by calling it X-Force and turning it into a mercenary team. And I think a lot of that kind of that was a little bit of to play to the time. I think comics had evolved to that point from the 80s with the anti-hero, dark, gritty stuff to that.
Right. And it became
my stuff was was like early 80s Marvel, and then all of a sudden Image Comics came along, and it was a game changer.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I remember that time well.
Yeah,
it was just, it was exciting to be into comics then, and
I think I've gotten Youngblood 3, Wildcats 4, and Supreme issue 2 off the newsstand at a Thriftway.
Oh wow, man! Back when they were still selling on newsstands, can you imagine that? Yeah, I mean, I was
just gonna say it's funny because you can flip through bins and you'll see 3 different versions of the same comic during that era. There was the newsprint, the newsstand, and then you have the direct editions, and there's varying values between the difference of the between the 2 or the 3 or whatever.
Well, as well as the foil covers and the variants and all that stuff. So you had the 3 different comics, then you had the different covers, and
I made that point never to buy a variant. It's like I already have that book, so I don't need to really buy it again.
Yeah, I was never a variant guy either, unless the cover was something amazing. But normally I'm just happy just to have the story. I don't care about none of that crap.
And honestly, it's true. Everything Image did was pretty much the same thing Marvel was doing, but it was grittier and it was cooler.
Right. Yeah. And you had artists being rock stars basically at that time, it was a different vibe than it is now,
Could you imagine?
Rob Liefeld was doing Calvin Klein jean ads.
Right. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Could you imagine if he actually did a comic book with who was that rapper?
Is it Vanilla?
Run DMC?
No, Run DMC. No.
NWA.
Easy E.
Easy-E, yeah, because Easy-E wanted to do a comic with him, and I guess it went as far as doing concept sketches, and then they both got too busy, and then Easy-E died.
Oh wow.
Oh man,
Could
that
you
would've been
imagine
funny.
though?
Yeah,
If it-
that would have
Oh
been.
man.
It was funny
I
too. I don't know if you guys follow Rob Liefeld at all, but he released like
The Captain America cover.
yeah, the Captain
Yeah.
America. Did you see that? Like
No, I
that
didn't.
that image that Johnny, that image he always like people make fun of him for that
The
side angle.
big busted Captain America.
Yeah, he redid it, but he redid it as the Falcon cap, and he
Yeah,
kept
the
a big
Sam Wilson,
chest and
yeah.
everything. So I like that he's a good sport about that because
Yeah.
like that's the one thing like
I always said there's good Rob Liefeld and then there's bad Rob Liefeld. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
everybody hits a foul ball now and then.
yeah,
Well, I'll also
definitely.
say, like, a lot of people like crap on him and have crapped on him, but Rob Liefeld by no means is like a bad artist or how a lot of people say like the worst artist. Like, he's a good artist. It's just sometimes he has those mistakes or those misses. Like, he's
Every experience I've had with him in person has been phenomenal. He's been so awesome to talk to, so very personable, and he's so much a fan of comics as he is a comic creator. And I
Right.
think that's kind of one of the things that, every time I've met him in person and we've chatted comics or anything like that, it's been cordial. He did block me on Instagram, which I don't know why. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I wonder
happened
what
there.
that-
But I don't know.
What the
I'll
heck
know.
is that, man?
I don't know, but if I ever have his audience again, I'll definitely have to ask him if he knows.
Yeah,
why.
you'll have to.
it may have
ask
been another Johnny C and like he saw you as like, oh,
Somebody
it's that guy.
smirched my good name.
Yeah, could be.
Better find him and beat him up.
It's like the soup Nazi.
No, I'm a pacifist.
I saw
I,
I
uh,
saw
with his mom.
a stream with Rob Liefeld on it, and it's like, oh my god, this guy's a mix of hyper and old man cranky.
Yeah, he's interesting because when I met him once and I talked to him for a few minutes at Rhode Island Comic Con, it was like I don't know, 3-4 years ago, and he I could tell like he's a little testy with some people, like he just, but like with the fans he puts on a show, and but he was nice to me, and we talked
was a-
about the Deadpool movie and stuff, and
There was a guy that in a stream that tried to suggest what price he should sell commissions for. And
okay.
he told him to get the F out.
Oh, really?
And he goes, he let him know, hey, why when you leave, we're still going to talk about you.
That's great.
It's like, oh shoot.
It's interesting though, and then he has a good sense of humor about like his bad proportions when he does his artwork and stuff. So I don't know. He's
But
interesting,
you know
dude.
what, though? I can point to so many different comics in the 90s where they had no concept of fucking the human anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Where characters had necks that looked like Reed Richards, where it was just inexplicable, or their faces were scrunched where they look like a toaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
To kind of
he's-
bounce off of what Roland is saying right here is like, that's also another thing to keep in mind is like Rob Liefeld was able to hit deadlines. He was able to meet deadlines, and like you have to cut corners sometimes to meet those deadlines. So
And
Yeah,
on top of that, he was handpicked right out of high school by somebody at a Comic-Con. Who was it? It was, but either way, he got an in at like DC Comics or Marvel right out of high school.
Yeah, remember that original, was it Hawk and Dove he did? Like the
Yep.
original miniseries there. He
There
did
would have
for-
been
He
a
changed
young
that.
blood.
He changed Hawk and Dove and
Yeah.
made it, modernized it for the era at the time.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of cutting deadlines, Brandon, my cousin Roger was with me this weekend at the Comic-Con. We were going through an issue of, I believe it was New Mutants or something to that effect, or it could have been X-Force. And Larry Stroman was the artist.
Oh,
And-
okay.
And it was funny because it's like there's things you can do where it looks like aesthetic, but it's also cutting corners. Like he'd have a shot of Polaris and her face was in the center of the panel, but everything filling dead space was just her hair. Like how wild her
yeah.
green hair is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or there'd be a shot of Strong Guy and it would be his strong guy's, very unique face, but then everything surrounding and filling that panel would be muscle mass. So it's like they did a good job of occupying space with dead space, but to make it look like it's part of the aesthetic of the panel.
Yeah, I wish Larry Stroman would do more work in the industry. He was great.
There would have been also a young blood if he hadn't got picked up by Marvel and DC. They actually advertised it in what was that Megaton Man comics?
Oh, when was this? It was his.
It was a little prior to DC, but he couldn't actually go through with it because he's already obligated with Marvel and DC. So,
gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. I know. I mean, yeah, he's definitely a character, man. He's one of those guys I always look forward to hearing something from. And I'm not big on his art, but I can respect his place in the comic history, and
it hit me at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, like I think like he served a purpose, getting a whole generation interested in comics, at that right time, along with McFarlane and Lee and all those guys, so you got to give him that,
hero in the 90s, then somehow for some reason vilified in the 2000s.
Yeah, right. Like only 10 years later. It's so wild. But Image made Marvel and DC so uncool at the time, so like it's interesting,
Yep.
It's the history of all the comic stuff is really, fascinating over the years. Like feels like the industry goes through a change, like almost every 5 years or something. There's like a whole new era of something, But anyways, we can talk about Marvel and DC all day. So let's talk about you, gents. So Brandon, I don't remember what was your gateway into. I forget from the last time we had you on.
It was kind of like when I was like 7 or 8 years old, going to a yard sale with my mom and getting like a shoebox full of comics. It was like 70s and 80s stuff, like DC, Marvel, like Adventures of Superman, Amazing Spider-Man, but also like the lesser known series like DP7 from Marvel, like stuff like that, as well as some Valiant stuff was in there as well. That was kind of my gateway in. And then
what was that? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Good.
Oh, I was going to say, and then high school is whenever I started like picking up floppies like serialized because of Batman New 52.
Oh, nice. What were you going to say, Harry?
No, just wondering where everybody's located because I was wondering where everyone's from.
So I'm in Northwest Florida. Like where I live, I'm kind of near Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, okay. How about you, Tim?
I am in Caldwell, Idaho.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Nice.
Glad to have you guys here with us today. So so Tim, how did you kind of take your love of like 90s comics and kind of turn it into like creating comics?
I always tried to create comic books, but it never, like before then, it never went anywhere because I was the only one into making comic books.
Now, do you write and draw?
I write.
Okay.
But back in the day, I couldn't find anybody as interested in making comic books as I was. They like buying them, but they didn't like making them. So,
okay.
And plus, I didn't really have the know-how. Oh, sure, you just draw some pictures of what you want to happen. Yeah. No.
Yeah. And then Brandon, you're primarily a writer, right? You don't do any art, or?
Yeah, I'm mostly a writer. I admire artists, like I absolutely love art. My mom's an artist. Like I'll go to a art museum any day of the week. I collect original comic art, but me personally, I can do stick figures and that's about it. But I do love art, and I love working with artists, like on comics and just so it's one of those things where it works out where I love writing, but also this other thing that I admire, I also get to work with those type of people.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a certain charm in the whole collaborative process when you can bounce back and forth ideas off somebody, and it kind of like builds an excitement between the two. Like, it's magic. That's magic right there.
Yeah. And when you're writing, you have the comic script, however detailed it is. It can be Alan Moore level of insanity detail, or the Dan Slott Marvel way, where it's you have the plot and there's not any dialogue or anything in it. Very loose. But having that comic script and the artist working on that page, and then the page comes back and you as the writer, it's better than you thought in your head. Like, it's so much better.
Yeah, the days that those pages come back are like Christmas. Like that Christmas morning feeling is getting new pages.
I don't mind being like the brains of the operation, because I used to try to draw, and it just years, and it just wasn't getting any better, and I kind of was bummed about it, and I thought to myself, you know what? I don't mind being the brains behind it at all. Kind of like, this is my idea, but this artist is drawing my ideas and bringing them to life.
I mean, I think too, like to your point there, Tim. Like, I think it's smart that you realize that you know your strengths. Like I feel like a lot of indie creators that, let's just put it nicely, that they don't put out they put out kind of like a subpar comic, and it's mostly because I don't think that they know their strengths. Like, if you're gonna do art for a comic book, you got to make sure perspective. You got to know anatomy.
If you want to run with the big dogs, you need to.
Yeah, you need to know storytelling. You need to know all those things that make a comic work. And you have to be able to look at yourself objectively. You got to be able to step back and say, okay, this is not good, or this is good, and I can keep going with it. So I think that's an important thing for comic creators in general to know about themselves. Go ahead, Johnny.
But I was going to say, another thing is that when you find a good collaborative partner, they fill in those gaps for you, where, oversight that I might have as a writer, an artist can look at a script and go, oh, well, this might be cooler this way, because then the art would flow
absolutely
better. So to have that type of complementary relationship with somebody on a project is like invaluable. You know what I mean? So it's more than just like saying, oh, like, well, I could be better here, or I could be better there. It's like whoever you're working with, and if they're truly a collaborative mind, will improve upon a project, as opposed to just execute what's there on the page. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, even the things that you may see as some people, like the reader, I should say, the reader sees as a smaller thing, like lettering. Like I've tried lettering before, and it's tough, and that's one of those things. Yeah. Lettering is like its own art form. It is an art form, to where, like you were saying, Keith, like knowing your what you're good at and what you're not so good at, or you're mediocre at, or whatever it may be, and finding or trusting those people that are professionals at it. Like a lot of the comics I do, like there's one letterer, my go-to letterer, Nikki Powers, who like does amazing lettering. And it's one of those things where I recognize that, and it's one of those things where the reader does not focus or see lettering or anything like that until it's bad. They will see bad lettering. They will see bad lettering. Good lettering is where it blends in perfectly with the art. It blends in perfectly with the story. Yep. That is amazing lettering.
I think, there's many forms of art. I think we're all artists here. I mean, if you're a letterer, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, I mean, it's all art. You know what I mean? Like, so you're good at what you do. So that's your art form. You know what I mean? You could be a good cook or a good, whatever. So it's all art.
And it's not to say that like you can't get better at art, like, but I think like to be successful in the comic industry, you have to realize when you're not putting out the best product you could actually put out. You know what I mean? Like, if deep in the back of your mind that the figure that you drew does not look right, it's not in perspective, it's sloppy or whatever, and you still put it out, then you kind of know it's going to be, a subpar product, so that's what I was kind of getting at, I guess.
I think back to like some of the best cartoons, animated series that have been made in the past. And you look at stuff like The Simpsons, where they were very, very rudimentally animated in their first season. Or you look at Beavis and Butthead, and all their lines were squiggly. It was very imperfect. Or even South Park was fucking construction paper. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and then
you see how
to
it
see
goes.
the way they involved, it's like you don't necessarily need a perfect product at that
just need to
first
evolve.
execution. Right, exactly. It can evolve, but if there's heart there, if you're telling a story that's worth telling, even if there's imperfections in the art, even if there's imperfections in the overall, people can look past that for the product itself and the overall picture. If it's
Well,
they can
that's
connect to.
that's just like how I started. And Melvin 1 was not a. It was people thought it was okay, and the thing is for me, if I don't just do it, then it's all talk. So I just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do the best I can. I refer to it as a run and gun operation. We were kind of I didn't know what I was doing, figuring out as I was going. Like our editing process was literally like, okay, here's what I think I should say. What do you think? And then why don't you say this instead? You know, it was just one page at a time kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then after I got all the books out for Melvin 1, I thought I need to do better. Every issue has to be better than the last issue. So the second issue has to be better than the first issue. And then I got the second issue. The second issue was a little better. So the third issue has to be better than the second issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think like that's a smart way to approach it. Like if you're always challenging yourself, you're gonna put out better products, you know. If you're constantly improving and getting better, and like I know
Some
like
people
the
get in their own
lettering
way though too. You know what I mean?
What's that,
Like,
Johnny?
some people get in their own way.
They do.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's tough. It's the creator themselves too. There's no real magic bullet when you want to put it in a profile like that. You know.
Yeah, it's like it does come down because like if you get caught into the whole mindset, like you want to constantly tweak stuff, you'll never get out of that like
right.
you know that
it's like a
whirlpool.
spiral.
Yeah, exactly. You'll always be stuck there. So I understand that mindset a little bit too, with projects and stuff. But I think what Tim was saying, like the challenging yourself, and I think everybody does that to a degree when they make a new comic. You kind of want to make it better than your last one, so
Right.
so I don't know, it's good discussion. So speaking of which, I know
absolutely.
you gents both have projects which you both killed on your platforms. I'm eager to talk to Tim first because
Let's take a closer
I've been
look.
hearing about crowd my was it
Fund My Comic.
Fund My Comic.
Started by Luke Stone. Yeah.
Yeah, now that's like a new platform, right? That just
Yep.
kind of came out like within like a couple months ago or something like that.
I think it's been a little longer than that, but yes.
Oh, okay. And how's the experience been on that platform?
Pretty good. They'll work with you. It's easy to use. I think I only stumbled on some of it, but I found it easy to figure out.
Okay. And what's like so have you done other crowdfunding platforms before?
I've
for your other
done
books?
Indiegogo a few times for Melvin 1 and 2.
Okay, no Kickstarter.
No Kickstarter.
So I've done Kickstarter, I've done Indiegogo. So what would you say, like, does Fund My Comic have an advantage over Indiegogo at all? Like, is there something
You don't
there
have to worry about getting banned. I think that was an issue with some people.
Okay.
Is that the hesitancy with Kickstarters? Like, there's like people getting banned or whatever.
That's I don't know. That's just.
I
That's
think
just
with
what I heard.
Kickstarter, you're lost. There's a lot of projects on Kickstarter. It's tough to stand out there.
You have to kind of do the bad girl comics to get people to buy it on Kickstarter.
Oh, like okay, yeah, like the Danger Girl type things, or
Niobe.
Oh, okay.
Larry Higgins kills it on Kickstarter.
Gotcha.
The stuff that kills it on Kickstarter is like, which someone has a Kickstarter right now parroting all the things that make a Kickstarter popular. It's like if it's Cthulhu, horror, naked ladies, like there's a comedy or a comic out on Kickstarter right now that has all of those. It's like,
yeah, right. I'm sure.
I forgot what it's called, but like someone noticed all that stuff and was like, let's make a comic about all this.
That's kind of genius in a way. Like
Kickstarter. Yeah.
You can call it like crowdfund the comic.
It has a good title. I can't remember what the title is, but
that's
things like Cthulhu,
Kickstarter.
Cthulhu did my Kickstarter or something. I forgot what it was. It's something along that line.
I thought it'd be like Kickfarter or something.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, no, like I mean, I'm not opposed to trying Kickstarter again, but like I definitely like some of the stuff with Indiegogo more, but like I'll have to look into Fund My Comic to see if they have any.
I went over because John Dillard was doing Kickstarter. I mean, Fund My Comic.
Okay.
With Canadian Tussle, but Buckler Canadian Tussle.
Okay.
And I thought, well, if John Dillard's down with it, I might as well give it a shot.
And did he do okay on there too?
Oh hell yeah, he did.
Oh, nice. Yeah. See, so like I haven't heard much about it, but I'll look into it a little more. Like I'm curious about it. I'm not that I'm doing any crowdfunding anytime soon, but
Mighty Mascots, Fund My Mascots.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. I may try it, but like I'm gonna wrap up the one I'm currently doing probably next month, but and then I'll look to doing something, maybe next year, but yeah, I'll take a look. I'm curious about this new. Do they only do comics on there?
I think they branched out to like board games and such.
Okay. So it's just comics and board games. That's interesting. There's so many like little ones like that out there. Like
there is an actual rock group on there that's crowdfunding at their album.
Oh, that's
okay.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, hey, it might turn into something. Might turn into another, another good site to go to. But
nice to have a third option.
Yeah, it definitely is. Johnny, your thoughts on that, or did you have any thoughts on that?
It's interesting. It's we're starting to see these other platforms pop up. There's also that crowdfunder that drops the E.
Yeah,
and that's a big and a certain. And I'm noticing that there's like,
it's clicky. Like there's a lot of.
That's exactly what I was going to say. There's a crowdfunder site for your comic group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like for your niche comic group, there's an associated site where you go to. Which I always hated that. I don't like that there's like a stigma like, oh, like Indiegogo is only for a certain crowd or Kickstarter is only for a certain crowd. I mean, it is what it is, and that's the way it seems like it is right now. But like, I'd love for, the people who only use Indiegogo to, have people from Kickstarter be able to port a project over there and get a new audience, as opposed to saying, oh, because this book shows up over here, it's affiliated to XYZ or whatever. You know what I mean?
I know, are you familiar with David Tomasi? He did Rogue: The American Dream, and he did all three. He did all three of platforms. He did Indiegogo, Kickstarter, and Fund My Comic at the same time.
Oh, really? And did he say which one he had the most success on, or is it?
I haven't asked him. But
I'd be curious to know what those statistics are to see how
that's a lot of work though too. Like
because it's not just the platform; it's how well you market too.
Yes,
that's pretty ambitious though too.
Yeah,
it is ambitious as well because it's a lot of fulfillment across 3 different platforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, dude, and each campaign, like he had a cross promotion with my campaign. Item? Yeah, he had a cross promotion with my campaign. If somebody backed my campaign and his, they got a free 6x9 poster of my
That's
character.
Another thing you can do for marketing too that I think is very effective, especially with Kickstarter. I think like if you highlight other people's crowdfunders and then you kind of, I know some people will gather like a bunch of PDFs to give out from different creators as a
the
gift.
digital super pack.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Dr. Mask is saying Fund My Comics takes less of your money. So they probably have a smaller fee, which is nice. Yeah, that's actually like really nice.
2 or 3%.
Oh, okay.
That's really nice.
I think
that's actually really nice. Yeah, anytime you can keep more money in your pocket.
Kickstarter's that massive 10%. It's like,
don't quote me. Ask Luke Stone first. I just that's from outside.
I'm sure they have a FAQ page on there or something. I'd have to go. I haven't paid it much attention just because I'm not looking to crowdfund anything at the moment, So, but I will. I'll take a look at it when I am ready to do it again. Your
mouth says no, but your eyes are saying yes.
Absolutely. So tell me, while we're on the subject with you, Tim, tell me a little bit about your comic there. So you're this is the third issue. It's a comic series called Melvin,
Yes.
right?
And
Can you
everybody
tell us like what's the elevator pitch for Melvin?
Well, in this issue, Melvin and Alice, that she's the princess that he saves in the first issue,
Okay.
are trying to evade some bounty hunters. You'll find out about his new ability he has, and then of course he has to decide between being a mercenary or a hero, and Alice has to face the consequences of her actions and fight for what she believes in.
So
why'd you pick-
Melvin,
Sorry.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was wondering why you chose the name Melvin. Is that the nerdiest name you can think of to give all other?
I was a
nerds
big
and geeks?
fan. I was a big fan of Mad Magazine, and
Oh,
there was a
okay.
name referenced on the first issue.
Oh,
If
okay.
you remember the cover for the first issue, it's two parents cowering in fear as this sinister image shadow is appearing out of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh, it's hideous! It's ugly!" And this little kid's just picking his nose, and the kid's like, "It's Melvin." And it's just,
I can't remember that now. Yeah.
I came up with the character originally in middle school, so
So was Melvin like was originally Alfred E. Newman or something? Is that what it was in the old Mad magazine?
I don't know. I just remember being a kid and collecting these Mad cards, and there was all the covers to every single issue.
Okay.
It's
maybe it
funny
was
if
like-
you look at a lot of media from back in the day, the name Melvin was just synonymous with like kind of like the dorky character. If you
Right.
look
That's what I was saying.
at
I figured-
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
The character's
Toxic
name was
Avenger.
Melvin.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a name
it's
for a front wedgie.
Yeah. Yeah, Melvin was like one of
No
those
idea.
geek names. Yeah,
love
like that's awesome.
And
So
who's Andy A? Because you said you're
Andy helped with Melvin too. He did the gray toning. He helped kind of redesign, kind of rearrange the cover a little bit, and he actually kind of saved the second issue. It was almost DOA. And
actually,
then
let me bring up the crowdfunder while we're talking about it here.
and then he was supposed to do the lettering.
Page.
Yeah, he was supposed to do the lettering. Oh, there's my handsome face.
Yeah, I like it.
He was supposed to do the lettering for Melvin 3, but unfortunately he got COVID again, and it took him. So,
oh geez, sorry to hear that.
so so the third issue is dedicated to him.
Oh,
It also
Sorry
has
to hear that.
it
That's
also
rough.
has Melvin 0 on there too. I wanted to kind of sweeten the pot, but hey, if you guys don't, if you think that's something, look what I got here. I got also a prequel issue
So,
drawn by Rob Ewing.
so
That's
is
cool.
the character? So is it the character like a space bounty hunter? Is that the premise?
Well, with the first 4 issues, he's a mercenary that was hired to save Alice from this cult. And this cult's kind of they kind of go from planet to planet, make either bend the knee or die, kind of thing. So they kind of destroy every civilization they kind of worm their way into.
That shot right there with the shield. That
I like
reminds me
that.
of Captain Victory from the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought
Oh,
that
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I thought it was like
that?
more like
Yeah,
if Thor and Captain America mated, That's like kind of too.
Or Thor
Yeah.
and
The
looks a
story
lot
about
like
that
Captain
is
Victory.
the
I love that.
artist. The artist for the first issue kind of did a Melvin drawing 2 years prior, and
okay.
he gave Melvin a shield for some reason, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to use that.
It looks cool.
I like the
love it.
artwork, Tim.
Yeah, I
I
love
think you
it.
got a good artist here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Rob
man.
Ewing's the best. Rob did an alt cover for Melvin 1, and I asked him to do a prequel issue.
Look at this sexy thing.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I originally was going to do a Kickstarter, and you know what? I need a half naked chick. And I was like,
Yeah,
I
that
have
always
to-
helps.
It's the right
for some
half too.
reason. Yeah.
Ironically, that's the back cover to
Literally,
to 0 and I think 3.
it's a great back
like-
cover.
Oh,
I like that it's the back cover too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I love that choice to make the
Back
character
uncovered.
a green skinned character too. Like it reminds me
Well,
of like
actually-
Zen the Intergalactic Ninja.
Actually, it's
or-
supposed to be yellow. I wanted the Simpsons
Oh.
yellow, but
Oh,
the-
okay.
but the artwork on the coloring on there kind of looks like Batman the animated series, the comic books. Remember when they did
Okay,
the
yeah.
adaptation?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of Rogue Trooper kind of vibe, a little bit. Like I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the story of the Hulk too? The Incredible Hulk, he was supposed to be orange originally, but or something like that, and they couldn't get the color. Something happened with the color, and he became green. or
Yeah,
something?
he was gray for like the first
Or
6
gray.
issues.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Some
and
other-
then
You
they
passed. You passed. If you go up further,
down
up-
further or
up further, you missed the bonus story from Melvin 3, which is I created a comic book called Zed and Odysseus.
Okay. Is
And
this
it's
the comic that we're looking at right now?
No, further up,
Further up.
further
Okay.
up, further up, further up. Right there.
Okay.
And it's kind of like Droids meets Adult Swim.
Okay.
Cool.
And I thought about like everyone's always asking why do aliens do what they do, and I thought, what if gray aliens just do stuff because they're bored?
Yeah.
So they kidnap their brains and put them in robot bodies, and it's like two neighbors that hate each other, right? Zed and Odysseus. And now they're forced to be kind of stuck. They're stuck together forever, pretty much.
Is it kind
Oh,
of
like
like a play on R2D2 and C3PO?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like Droids meets Adult Swim.
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
He's got a cigar. He doesn't even have lungs.
I like it. That's great. Little play on the Star Wars smoking PSA a little bit too.
Yep.
That's
I
great.
didn't realize that, but that works.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
That totally works. I love that.
Yeah, that is really fun. So that's a bonus in the actual third issue.
Yeah, it's like a 5-page bonus
Oh, nice.
comic. And of
Yeah,
course,
it's fun
you got
to do that.
you got
that
new
kind of
characters.
stuff.
You got oh, you passed that.
Oh, what was- we
You
gotta-
got two new characters. King Goodwinson, that's Alice's father, and her best friend and kind of like right hand person to the king, which is Diana. Which again, the original drawing for that the drawing that the original artist from Melvin 1 did 2 years ago, he put Diana on her jacket instead of Alice. So I was kind of like, okay, I need to explain why she has her name's Alice, but she's got a Diana on her jacket. So I thought maybe she like stole her identity and stuck out of the hidden city.
There you go.
So it's the name.
You can
Alice
always
have
write
a-
yourself
Oh,
at corners like that. I think
I needed a name, and I actually the design for Alice was based on Lauren Southern, if you know who that is.
No.
She's a report. She was a reporter for the Rebel News in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this looks interesting, man. Like, so what is this an ongoing? Like, are you gonna keep
Ongoing, yeah.
going?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Do you
And
have
it's funny,
ideas beyond like how far out do you have this mapped?
Probably I want to do an event comic after probably the 10th issue.
Oh, okay.
You know,
So you
There
have
aren't-
this planned for down
there
the
aren't
road.
any variant back covers, are there?
not in this one.
Ah,
Sorry.
you want to see it again, Harry? You wanna-
Oh no. Yeah, and none of the skin tones to any of the characters are any skin tones found on Earth for a reason.
Mhm.
And that is
I was just-
I came up with that idea after they were making a big deal about, like, I think there's an article of why are there no black X-Men, which sounds stupid. So I thought, well,
Yeah,
if they're
that
gonna
is
make a
very
big deal,
stupid because I could think of a handful right off the top of
Yeah.
my head here.
yeah, and I just thought, well, if they're gonna make a big deal about skin tone, none of my characters are gonna be and they're not gonna be white, black, Asian, or Mexican, whatever. They're not gonna be any of those.
I love that.
Yeah, I like that too. Like people care about so much nonsense. It's just like, like just do your story. Like, don't worry about that stuff,
So we got
unless it pertains to the story you're telling, I don't know.
I love this, but you could even do it in subtlety. Like if you look at the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, John C. Reilly's character, he goes home to his wife and kids who are purple skinned. And I always love that because it's a subtle detail. Like, he talks
Nobody
about
says
them, but
anything,
You don't
yes.
know. Like, you just make the assumption. And when he goes home to it, it's like, it's a nice little surprise. You know what I mean? And it's done all very subtly. I love that. I love little touches like that.
Well, like they're like green and red Martians. There are purple Plutonians. There's Melvin's a
Right.
Spartan. He's the only one left of his kind. That's like a Spartan and Martian put together. It's Spartan.
Is the trailer short or is it a long one?
I think it's short. It's too.
Okay, we can play it. Let's check it out.
It's pretty
Roll
much
that footage. Let's do it.
Let's take a look at it.
Yep.
Hopefully I get the sound.
Here, you got it.
Awesome, dude. That looks
Awesome.
great.
I love that you didn't it wasn't you talking. You're just like, let me show you some awesome art and some dope music. That was really
yeah,
good.
the music was great. Like
Straight to
Love
the
the
point.
music. It matched the visuals very well.
Yes,
And
the spoiler is that Melvin can regenerate. I guess you saw his head
Okay.
get taken off, right? And you can see it in various stages of growing back.
yeah, that's great.
That's pretty
So that's
cool.
his power. He can regenerate.
Yep.
Just his head or any limb.
But
Well,
that
in
lends
this
itself to
case,
like
his
comedic
head.
moments too. You know, that's real awesome. Like I love
Well,
that.
she's flying the ship and talking to him, and she's like wondering why he's not talking back. So when they finally get back to her home, she's pissed at him for not saying anything.
I used to love when they did that kind of stuff in comics with like Wolverine and stuff. Like,
Oh, right,
do you
right.
remember when Garth
Tub
Ennis
and half
wrote
of his guts
Wolverine?
are exposed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when
yeah.
Garth Ennis wrote Wolverine, and he was basically a punching bag for the Punisher. You know, it was pretty funny. But like, I love stuff like that. You know?
Or
Yeah, it is.
Deadpool, baby feet or baby legs or
Baby hand.
whatever.
Oh, and the other thing,
Oh,
He did
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
so what tier are you recommending to people, Tim? That since we're on your campaign here,
Well, if you want to get all four of them, there's always
Okay.
the quadruple pack, or
that down the bottom here.
the one with your favorite picture.
Oh, okay. This one right here.
Yes. Yes.
Who the hell's my favorite?
troll
Deadpool?
them.
I'll tell you that much.
This is the site's a slick though. I gotta say, Fund My Comic has a nice slick site here. You know, so
Well, some of the tiers were requested, like the digital 1 and 2 of Melvin. Somebody said, "I'll back again if you have that." And I'm like, "All right, you got it."
yeah, like I find like I discounted digital on my on 2 campaigns ago. I didn't do any digital, but this last one I did, and it turned out to be good. Like I think I got like 10 backers just on the digital stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of money that you leave on the table and it's an easy perk to fill, so I do recommend digital for everybody to do
Because it's
it,
ultimately that tier for the people that want to try it out but don't want to commit too much money, but it's perfect because it's that test, and then from there you
for
might
indie
get
guys too, like
Overseas though too.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
and like you say, Johnny, it's perfect for the indie creators, right?
Yeah. Now,
Right,
now
because
Melvin
you're also-
Zero is interesting. If you want, if I may,
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
it's interesting because it's Melvin, like in the future, he's no longer a mercenary. He's a hitman. He's hanging out at this bar waiting for his target to show up, and he's talking to this bar wench and kind of telling the story of how he became a mercenary. So it's
that's pretty cool.
it's a nice little kind of filling in the backstory a little bit more.
Nice. I like the name of your comic company too, Velvet Comics. It's very smooth,
Check out the candle holders.
The candle holders. Where's that?
Oh, right on the cover.
On the cover.
Oh,
Yeah,
on the
that-
cover. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah.
Well,
I
it's
didn't
made
even
out of
notice
gut.
that.
That's so metal.
That's
That
cool.
is cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I didn't even notice that those were candles. I thought it was
Yeah.
part of the gun until you
Yeah.
just pointed that out. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that cover. Really, your artist is really good. I like.
Oh yeah,
Great
Rob's the
artwork,
best.
Yeah, he's really good. And I love how like I don't know if he did this on purpose, but the mountains almost look like angel wings a little bit coming off of him.
You know, I noticed that too, and I still think that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I think that's really cool. Like, it's a very subtle thing, but I really like it. And also as far as composition, it like leads your eye right to
centering
Melvin.
him. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
really good.
Really good stuff.
Now, are you guys fans of like hardcore punk or metal? Or
I am.
I really want to kind of harness that kind of the intensity that when I'm listening to music like that. So when I'm writing, I'm thinking of ideas for a comic book. That's kind of like heavy metal movies.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
definitely.
Or
I
like,
can see this in
like
that.
Iron Maiden always had such awesome artwork to go with their music that you see on their album covers, things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think your trailer was able to capture that tone very well, like that punk rock heavy metal, because you had like the pages and like some of the intensity with some of the action as well as the music itself. I think
I kept
was
thinking
able to capture that tone.
I kept thinking Brick in the Law when I was listening to it.
Well, I do like Judas Priest.
Nice.
Awesome. I'm gonna put the link for the Fund My Comics Melvin #3. Get all 3 issues on the campaign.
Get all 4 if you're adventurous.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then if you're watching this tomorrow, the link for Melvin #3 on Fund My Comics will be in the description of the video as well.
Heck
So
yeah.
check that out, and we'll put the link up too at the end as well. And then I wanted to take a quick look at Brandon's campaign too. Now, Brandon, last time you were here, you had what was the comic? It was like a horror comic, right?
Dismay Avenue. It was my horror anthology comic. I write The Gallows Man, Dismay Avenue, and Tales from Town City.
Yeah.
So it
And did
bouncing
you finish
from horror to comedy, like all
yeah,
of that.
you're all over the place. So did you finish? Did you finish Gallows Man? Is that one over now?
So the Gallows Man issues 1 and 2 are out. We did Kickstarters for both of those. Issue 3 we're planning to have out like the beginning of next year. Like it'll be a 4-issue miniseries.
Gotcha. So you're working on all this stuff in tandem, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you dressed as the Gallows Man? Like, were you?
So I'm actually dressed as a character from Tales from Town City, but this character also appeared in The Gallows Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So you have a shared universe then, huh?
Yeah, Tales from Town City. So basically, it's a spin-off of The Gallows Man. Now, I mentioned that. I also need to mention, like, you don't have to read any of The Gallows Man to dive into Tales from Town City and enjoy it, because it is an anthology, and the anthology follows minor characters from The Gallows Man.
Gotcha.
I'll
so
mention,
now, do
you
you offer Gallows Man on this campaign as well? If anyone wants to check that out.
Yeah, there's it's not even entirely like a catch-up tier, like, because you don't have to read The Gallows Man for Tales from Town City. But yeah, there's tiers where you can get Tales from Town City, Gallows Man 1 and 2, stuff like that, as well as you can add on Dismay Avenue, like the horror stuff, if you want, with your superhero dark comedy stuff.
Yeah, nice. This reminds me of Loki and the Pet Avengers for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Is that what this kind of is? Is like a riff on like the animal characters,
superhero animals.
Yeah. Well, I know that dog
like
is
DC Super Pets kind of.
Yeah, that's great.
The dog there, Hangmutt, reminds me of Dynamut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's real cool. I love the flying squirrel too, the sugar glider.
Yeah. That was the fun thing.
Butterfly.
Of, like, whenever I first was like writing this back in November, like deciding on what animals were in the team. And that was really fun. Just having like the weird variety, because you got a sloth. Well, the basic ones. You got a dog, you got a cat. And it's like, okay, let's get a little bit weirder. You got a sloth, you got a snake. Let's get even weirder. You got a sugar glider, you got a walrus, you got a butterfly. And it all works very well in that story.
What's the name of the team?
Fierce Pets. And PETS is an acronym. PET stands for Precise Ecosystemic Tactical Squad. Harkening back to those Wildcats days, the covert action team.
I love that. That is awesome.
That is fun, man.
Now, do they do exactly what animals do and they don't save anybody, or?
This one, this is one story within Tales from Town City #1. This one, actually, if you scroll down, there's some preview pages for this story in particular.
For the story, okay.
Yeah,
this cover is great, man. Your artwork, your artists are really good too. These two covers are excellent.
Juan Romero did the animal one, and Thomas Tikas did that one. Thomas does the main cover art for the Gallows Man. So I kind of want to get him to do a variant cover for this as like a nod, kind of.
Does that say 15
art?
cents
Yeah, the
on it?
art is great on this too, man. Like,
thank you. Yeah, Juan kills it. He does most of the art, and then Helen Bolton does a 4-page backup in this.
Okay.
And that one, she's the main artist in the Gallows.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. So I'm Hypno Ray. I was able to get a cosplay together in under $50 for one of my comic characters, and I've been milking it ever since.
Have you tried to use your powers at a grocery store? Like, you will give me the groceries for free.
I would try. The downside is with this story. So this story, it follows 2 homeless villains, including Hypno Ray, who try to they find expired coupons, and they try to convince a convenience store clerk that the coupons aren't expired. Hypno Ray has hypnotic powers, but they're very weak because his tinfoil connector hat is damaged, and he needs more tinfoil. And the coupons they got, it's a coupon for canned yams. Like, there's a canned yams coupon, which I actually made real coupons to go with.
Oh, that's awesome.
And there's a tinfoil coupon. That's the coupon they're trying to use.
This character reminds it's like you ripped it out of like Mystery Men or something. You know, the Mystery Men.
Yeah. Like those oddball, like
who have powers that aren't really powers. You know,
exactly.
Kind of slightly above Professor Chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Do you go to conventions dressed this way, and you sell your comics as your character? Or?
You should.
I just did like the first time a month ago, and it was very good. At least it was eye catching. People,
look like the character.
I could see that would work. You know, like it's a unique enough look where even if it doesn't sell you a book, you might get people that want to take your picture, and you'll end up
exactly. That happened. And what was good about that convention, it was a paranormal convention, and with those paranormal conventions, you also have the conspiracy theory people, and they saw the tinfoil hat, so I got so many compliments or mentions about the tinfoil hat. So I was like, as long as people are noticing, I'm good.
Yeah, like even the glasses with the spirals, it's like reminds me of Devo. So you even have like a new wave audience that you probably kind of piqued their interest on, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't there used to be a paranormal convention here in Leominster, like down the street, like a Bigfoot convention or a UFO convention?
There used to be a UFO one down at, they used to do it at City Hall, which I thought was the oddest place.
I think I missed it. I wish I could have gone to it.
Maybe they all got abducted.
MUFON.
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
So this is the Fierce Pets.
Yeah, this is the Fierce Pet story. This is a 16-page story in the comic. And you have the animals, you have Hangmutt who kind of kicks off the story. And it's a team of animals, and you don't fully understand what they're saying because they're animals. There's bark, barks, meow, meow, meows, and then some of the other animals don't have as popular words like walruses. I had to come up with gar, 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 like stuff like that. and so they're slaughtering poachers. And this page is just like one brief example of like how wild it gets. You get
like a bonkers We3.
Yeah, you get a sloth cutting a dude's head off. The guy's shooting himself. Do
we have any elephants to show up at all?
Yes, there actually are, because that's actually who they're saving. Like these poachers are trying to harvest the elephant's tusk, and so they're slaughtering the poachers and trying to save the elephants.
I think poaching elephants is like the worst. I mean, how bad of a hunter must you be, or poacher must you be? It's like shooting a barn. If you shoot an elephant, is that really an accomplishment? Really?
Right. Aren't elephants really dangerous though?
Yeah,
what's that?
They can charge you if protecting their young. They can.
Yeah, that's with almost any animal though. Is like it's ultimately a defense type thing.
Yeah. Great
YouTube
shirt.
circus accidents. You'll see.
Shirt is fun, man.
That's
Yeah,
a cool
thank you,
shirt.
thank you. Yeah, I got the Fierce Pets. Even has the acronym below it, the Precise Ecosystemic Tactical Squad. Yeah,
I love that. I
like
love
it.
that you found
Thank
an
you.
acronym for it.
Yeah,
Thank
that's great. Look at all these images too. This is great, man.
I
That
told-
should be its own. You should have a spin-off just to this title. That I think people.
Well,
would
that's
love
the thing is like because there's 3 stories in it. There's Tenfold Hypnotism. It's the 2 homeless villains. There's the Mortician story, which follows a mortician trying to make sense of dead villains' names. Like he sees like, oh, your name's the Frog. You're dressed as a frog. Fine, yeah, that makes sense. Your name though is the Walrus. You look nothing like a walrus. I hear you waddle like a penguin. That may have been a more fitting name, but you got a whiskery mustache. I guess it checks out. Your name's the Jackal. That doesn't make any sense. You're dressed in a green mobster suit. Call yourself the Green Gangster or something. It's not a great name. It's better than the Jackal. It's just this mortician just trying to make sense of these names, all while just talking to these dead bodies and cremating them. And then the Fierce Pets one. So with
I have a question.
Yeah.
You would figure the sloth would show up last to the battle because they're so slow.
Well, they're kind of like super animals in a way, as well as with this one, he isn't actually crawling. Like the page that they show up, he is on the walrus. So basically, like the walrus is going and he's on it. And kind of going back to the minor Wolverine talk we had a second ago, they basically do a fastball special where like Colossus will throw Wolverine.
that.
The walrus throws the sloth and he has like his Wolverine moment kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah, the artwork is really good, Brandon. I like
Thank
too.
you.
I like that you're you're building your universe, like you're building the world, and like this book adds to it. Now, the horror anthology, does that have anything to do with your? I'm gonna call it the Dismay universe. Is that a good?
It ultimately doesn't.
Okay.
The horror stuff is like kind of like here's where Brandon gets scary or serious.
Yeah.
Like you see his comedic stuff with Gallows Man and his fun action stuff with Gallows Man and Tales from Town City, but here's where Brandon you go into his mind and you're like, oh, I don't know.
I thought I knew you.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is you're scary.
kind of back out the door and go somewhere else.
Dr. Mass says that's some fun comics there.
Thank
so
you,
yeah,
thank
so,
you.
yeah. I agree, man. I think this was great. Like, I actually really, it's funny. Like, I'm a sucker for that Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think the thing that I wish that book would do that you did was have the animals not be able to talk to each other, like they just grunt or they make their own sounds. Like in that comic, they actually communicate with each other, which makes no sense to me. But
Yeah.
But I like
the
What's that,
inspiration for this kind of came from like at the time when I was writing this, a little bit before that, I was reading Matt Fraction's Hawkeye. And you have Pizza Dog in that. And there's one issue of that where it's strictly just Pizza Dog's perspective. And with you had it was Pizza Dog, his perspective, where like when humans were talking, he understood like 2 or 3 words. The rest was just he didn't understand. So when I was reading that, it influenced me, but I kind of wanted to switch it a little bit to where it's like we're the reader. We understand humans. We're humans. We'll understand Gallows Man when he's talking. We'll understand when the poachers, when they're talking, but like have it to where we don't understand the dialogue of the animals. Through the actions and through the emotions of the animals, you get basically what they're saying and what the plot is going at.
Yeah,
but like
plus
the
it
specifics.
Challenges you as a writer too to try to make that clear, right? Right.
I would say.
I was sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Brandon. I was going to
you're
say it's got that charm of that silent G.I. Joe issue. You know what I mean? Like like Keith said, you get like a challenge to write to that specifically, but it also opens up because it's kind of like there's a little bit of a dark comedy angle. There's so many opportunities for humor and silence. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just gonna say, are you gonna make a parody of X Babies?
Yeah. I remember
can
X
have-
Babies. Yeah.
You could
I'm trying
have
to think of that.
you could have
Other-
fetus force.
Yeah.
I love that.
That actually be kind of funny. And you know, there was a comic too that I just read recently. There was a free comic day comic called Stray Dogs from Image that was excellent. Have you guys read that?
Stray Dogs is really good.
I bought the trade, but I haven't read the whole trade. But I like the first issue a lot. It's basically Life of Pets meets like Seven.
Yeah.
So if you can
but what's great about it, what's great about it is like they have it's animals. So they have like the animal minds, the animal brains to where like they're forgetting stuff.
Right.
And so like it's hindering them of like trying to solve this thing that's happening.
Is that why they need the elephant? Because he doesn't forget.
Yeah. Or a bird that's like smart, you know.
What was that kind of cartoon back in the day in the 80s with all the dogs, you know what I mean? Like, or it was like a Saturday morning cartoon. I'm trying to look it up, but it reminds me of a bunch of dogs together, like 5 dogs. I think Richard Cullen maybe did the one of the dogs' voices. Forget.
I'm only thinking of Huckleberry Hound right now.
No.
Are you like? Were they a team of?
Yeah, they're a team of dogs. Yeah, one was like a. I gotta look it up.
I don't
reminds
remember
me.
that
Of,
I think Harry's thinking of Paw Patrol.
No, it's not Paw Patrol. It's the precursor to Paw Patrol. I mean, Patrol. I'll look it up. I think Richard Cullen was one of the voices. I think he played Duke.
Yeah,
or
I don't
something.
remember anything with dogs.
Oh man, I have to look it up.
I'm usually pretty
Puppies?
good with that stuff, but
No, it wasn't Pound Puppies. Hold on, I'll look it up. You guys,
was it Shirt
Talk
Tails? No, that was all.
Shirt Tails was like 15
That was all
years
different
ago.
animals, right? That was all different animals.
Shark Tales was like
possums and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Why he's looking that up, Brandon? How long is the trailer long? Is it something we could show?
It's up to you. It's 2 minutes and 26 seconds. I think it's a fun, funny time. And if you do show it, I recommend the last 30 and 45 seconds because I like to get stupid and fun with the trailers at the end. So yeah.
All right, yeah.
Let's make it happen.
All right, perfect. Let me know if there's no sound.
Number 1, make it so.
Straight from the pages of The Gallows Man comes a brand new series of tales. Not tales as in what furries wish they had behind them, but rather the story type of tales, like what you would find in a comic book. Speaking of which, this is an ad for Tales from Town City Number 1. This anthology series follows lesser-known characters that were introduced in the Gallows Man miniseries. Characters like Hypno Ray and the Rusty Hook. You'll follow these 2 homeless villains and their ventures into trying to use expired coupons they found. Or characters like Hangmutt as this super-heroic dog and his team of super animals slaughter poachers on the daily. And there's even more characters that you'll just have to wait and see for yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, if Tales from the Town City spins off from the Gallows Man series, do I need to read the Gallows Man to get Tales from the Town City? The answer is no, you silly listener. You don't need to read the Gallows Man to enjoy the stories found within Tales from the Town City. Each issue and story found within Tales from Town City is self-contained. So what are you waiting for? Support Tales from Town City Number 1 by backing it on Kickstarter today. Why has it come to this? I mean, how the hell did Gallows Man do well enough to warrant a spin-off? Why did I even take this gig? I mean, they had me read a dumb little ad and then force me to say things like, my name is Jeff, and, ice cream, so good, gang, gang. Like, is it enough if I said, shout out to Little Big Joe, keep it 100G? Would that be enough to satiate their hunger? Or would I humiliate myself and say something as repulsive as, I do declare there is feces running down my pants as we speak?
That's great, dude. That's awesome, Brandon.
Thank you.
Oh,
You always
I
have good
fucking
trailers.
love
I gotta
that.
admit, like, do you
It's one
make
of
the
those
trailer?
things. So yeah, it's one of those things where like ultimately when it comes to a Kickstarter trailer or crowdfunding trailer, 100, 200 people watch it or see it all the way through.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately for me. Like I
right.
I love doing these. Like I love writing the scripts out, and I've worked with this guy, this narrator from Fiverr named Mr. Corley. He's the guy that narrates it. And he does a terrific job every time. He's willing to say all the dumb stuff that I put in there because he
animated
did
well too.
Thank you. Yeah, he did the
was
narration
great.
of Gallows Man 1 trailer, Gallows Man 2 trailer. And yeah, the editing is phenomenal. It's actually done by a friend of mine, Manny from Nerdtastic News, his YouTube channel. Like he edited it and it turned out great.
Awesome, man. Yeah. No, I like it a lot. So same
you.
with you. Like, what is there specific perks that you would recommend people to check out, or?
So yeah, ultimately, the campaign when it comes to the rewards, it ranges from $1 to $75. There's a reward tier for any budget. Every little bit helps. $5, you can get Tales from Town City digitally for just $5. For $12, you can get Tales from Town City #1, Gallows Man #1, Gallows Man #2 digitally for just $12. That's over 130 pages of comics because Gallows Man, those are some thick books. And then physical copies start at $10 for Tales from Town City. And there's also bundles, like great value bundles with Tales from Town City, Gallows Man, and you get a bunch of perks in there. There's also the T-shirt. Like I ultimately created the T-shirt for me. I there's already been people that's ordered it and put it in their add-ons and stuff. I really want the T-shirt because I want to walk around with the dumb little Wildcats parody acronym, basically. So yeah, those
I
are
bet that'll
some of the
get a
ones
lot
I
of
recommend.
attention at shows and stuff, you know. But
because I've got the horror shirts and I've been selling those at shows, and now I've got nice little the Fierce Pet shirts. And if someone hasn't read it, they don't entirely see the insane violence of it. But
I love the and I also love just the spoofy, absurdist comedy nature of it too. It's ultra violent, dark, but also like absurdist and like almost like The Mask, the original Mask Dark Horse comic. It was as funny as it was violent.
Thank you. Yeah, it was ultimately because this is a spinoff of the Gallows Man, to carry on that tone from the Gallows Man. Because if people don't know, Gallows Man is basically Adam West Batman meets Inglourious Bastards. Like that's the Gallows Man.
Okay.
It's set in the 1940s. He's beating up and killing Nazis, all while having like the fun jovialness of Adam West Batman and saying the one-liners and like, oh boy, we did it again today, newsboy, like that sort of stuff. And so carrying over that tone into Tales from Town City, that was very important.
Does he fake an Italian accent but doesn't actually do an Italian accent like Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Hey,
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
You can see it.
That's great. So I shared the link I shared the link for Tales from Town City in the chat. Again, also if you're watching this tomorrow, it will be in the description of the video. Both these guys have already hit their goal, which is awesome, but they could always use more funding, you know. So definitely check it out. Yeah, check it out. Help our indie brethren, you know, to make comimics, make good comics.
Yeah,
you know?
to keep this train going.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
also back the Kickstarter for those coupons. Like you're backing it for the coupons. The comics are just a bonus, really.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes.
So those coupons are free with the comic too.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't put it in the
Very
Kickstarter because it was something I thought about like a month and a half ago, and it costs barely nothing for me to make. So I was like, yeah, like I'll include these with it because
Yeah,
a little
it's-
in comic thing, like it's in the story, it's a pivotal plot point within the story. Have it a part of it. So
And if a grocery store refuses to honor those coupons, you look at them square in the face and you say, "You're a dirty liar."
Yeah.
well, there's actually fine print. So it says like tinfoil 50% off, but there's fine print at the bottom of it that says offer only available at the supermarket. That's the name of the supermarket in Town City. Offer only available at the supermarket located in Town City. Expires August 14th, 1941. So they are
Already
very far expired.
No, I see what you're
okay.
doing. This is some kind of grift, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Awesome.
So the name of the show was The Puppy's Further Adventures.
What was it
I've
called?
never heard that before.
The Puppy's Further Adventures. It's like
The
I wish I
Puppy's
can't
Further
really.
Adventures.
Can you
It's
see
what?
that? Can you see that at all?
Hold on.
Probably not. It's very.
It's melting into the
Yeah, right.
It's melting
I have
into
it.
the TARDIS.
Yeah, wait, I have it. Hold on.
It's getting sent back.
That's not
Okay.
it. Hold on. It's these guys.
I was about to
here.
say that looks new.
Wait,
That looks new.
I'll figure it out. I'll get it to be. But basically, one's like a Saint Bernard. One's like a skinny greyhound. One's like an old I think it's Peter Cullen voiced the name of the dog. I mean the one of the dogs.
I'm gonna look it up. What is it
Yeah,
called?
yeah.
Puppies? What?
Further Adventures, or New Adventures. I'm sure it's like our era. I'm sure you'd recognize it if you watch Saturday morning cartoons.
I may have been just outside of the age range on that one.
Yeah, I think I might have been too.
Okay, from 82 to 84.
Oh, kinda. I kind of
Remember?
remember this. Yeah. Okay.
But they all talk though. They all have
Yeah.
I
Let me
forget,
see if
I forget what they were trying to do, but
let me see if I can get a good picture here. Hold on.
yeah.
I don't think I've
You know,
ever
I
seen
kind of
this before.
I remember the design, but I
Right.
don't think I've ever seen like this show. Let me see.
I just
show
not thought of
this.
it when I saw that.
Like
Is this
did-
Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Those
it
guys.
looks familiar.
Okay. I kind of feel like I should know
I
that.
think the guy with the scarf is like Richard Cullen. Maybe he definitely had a Richard Cullen type voice.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks sort of familiar, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of.
there's. I feel like I'm being Mandela affected right now.
Yeah.
Stop Mandela.
yeah, that's what I
affecting
feel
me.
too. I feel that
Stop
too.
Yeah,
Mandela
Mandela.
affecting me. It's the spinning eyeglasses.
You know what it is?
Well,
It's like
I'm getting the Mandela
I
effect.
feel like I remember most cartoons, but Harry will once in a while
Oh, yeah.
pull out some weird shit. That I
Remember
don't
back in the
remember.
day, we had I think we had like a show off. You know, you're trying to name a show, like a random bizarre show. And we kept playing back and forth for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And
try.
trying to like outdo each other. And I
Well, that's
think
another thing when it comes to those Hanna-Barbera shows. Like we know all the popular ones, but there's like dozens, if not hundreds, of those shows that
Right.
got like one season or something.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's
Maybe
some that
Roblox.
got made popular by Adult Swim. You had Harvey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Dr. Mask is asking if you have a website, Brandon.
So I don't have a website. I guess you could say I'm shooting myself in the foot by doing this, but I like to have the Kickstarters kind of be like an event. Like it's like, oh, Disney Comics has rolled something out. Like I'm able to get it through the Kickstarter. So I don't have a website where you can get my stuff from. It's only through the Kickstarters. Or if you live in the Southeast, very much the Pensacola, Florida area, you might see me at a con and could get it there.
I love that. It adds to the mystique.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
It
that.
is good. Like it's like because I honestly I have a website and I don't get a lot of stuff from it. It's usually from the crowdfunders, but like I'll get a random order here and there, but like it's not like rolling in every month. You know what I mean? Like
Tim, do you do conventions as well, or?
I have not. I have done a limited. I went to Gym State. I wasn't at there, but I was a guest there. I went.
Oh,
I went
cool.
as a. I went as somebody who just went. I did bring a bunch of free. My
free
brain's not
promo
working.
stuff for it.
Yeah, I brought copies of issue number 1. I'd buy an issue from a creator and have them sign it, and then I just give them a free issue.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah, that's a good way to network. Get other creators. Checking out your book and stuff.
Funny though, I got told, and I'm going to take their word for it. They one said he's seen the book but never read it, and the other one said he's heard of the book but never seen it. So I took it as maybe there's I took it for what it was. Like, okay, that's a good thing that people are kind of hearing about it, but they need to see it and they need to read it.
Yep. The funniest thing ever of someone hearing about the Gallows Man was I did Fan Expo, which it was my first convention, but I'm glad I got the experience at least. I had a great time. I did Fan Expo New Orleans in January, and my buddy who was with me at the convention, he went to the bathroom. He came back. The bathroom's super far away from Artist Alley. He came back and was like, yeah, I was in the bathroom and I overheard 2 people talking in different stalls saying, yeah, I saw something about like a gallows man or something. What's up with that? Like basically while they're pooping, they're talking about the comic. I was like, hey, I'll take any type of word of mouth.
But I like your look though. I think your look is going to be if you wear this at conventions, I think kids would want to look like you.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I think I like.
It's kind of.
Someone had mentioned. I'm not going to do it, but I thought it was funny if I just had a separate table and just had like dozens of tinfoil hats there. I was like, hey, come get a tinfoil hat.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could market it with the comic, like buy a comic, you get a.
Maybe they buy it with the glasses.
Yeah, you could do the glasses too.
Just give them a roll of stuff. Give them a roll of Reynolds wrap.
Give it away, because the one thing I've noticed in San Diego is that when everybody's walking around with like this promo thing that everybody has, it makes me wonder, what is that? What's going on here? Like when people walk around, they have what it looks like a Dragon Ball Z like visor thing. I'm like, what is that?
And I was gonna say, if you do tinfoil hats, don't just do the hat. Make sure you put your comic on there somewhere, like a sticker or a
QR code sticker.
Or QR code or something like that. You know what I mean? So like for the reasons Johnny was just saying.
That's good. I
was gonna say, I think what I thought was, well, no, they haven't read or seen my book yet, but I think I'm in the right direction. The fact that people are hearing about it or talking about it.
Absolutely. It's funny what you were saying, Brandon, about people like talking crap about your comic in the bathroom. That happened to me too recently, not with my comic, but with my convention. Because I work part-time at a comic store in the area. Like I work a couple days a week, and some guy came in and he was talking to one of my coworkers. He's like, "Oh, I went to Plastic City this weekend. Man, what a dud that show was." God! I'm like, should I say something? I almost wanted to call him out and said, "Oh, that's my show," but I didn't do it. I didn't want to embarrass him, but I was just like, same thing. Like,
even if you don't call it out, you're just like, oh, I heard it was pretty good. Just add that.
I kind of did like, well, what were you looking for? There was a lot of comics there,
You spit in their coffee and then you offer them coffee. Like,
Speaking of toilet talk, you guys should have
his
like
comic in the bag. I dented, give it a little ding before before he leaves.
You guys should steal all the TP from every bathroom at these conventions, and then like maybe print your comic on toilet paper and sell that.
Marvel had that at one point. They had toilet paper that actually had a comic story on it.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Basically, you could be reading it and then actually doing your business.
Right. But what if you missed the page and you're looking, oh man, I already wiped. Damn it.
Looking into the toilet bowl trying to read that page.
Right? Oh my god, so funny. But anyways, so we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm gonna start wrapping this bad boy up. It goes quick, right? Like we get in some good conversations here, and things start to it looks like time goes by in 2 seconds, So I'm gonna share both links in the chat here again. The first one here is for Tim's comic, Melvin #3. You can get all 4 issues on the campaign, along with some great bonus stuff. And Tim, while we're talking about your campaign again, when do you expect to fulfill your campaign? Is it a year, 6 months?
I try to do it as soon as possible.
Okay. Do you have an expected date, or are you just kind of like trying to still figure that out?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I find it very important to get people their books because they took a chance on me. So
yeah, absolutely. I feel the same. Whenever I take people's money, I feel like a great responsibility to getting the stuff to them right away. So I'm glad you have that mindset too. And then Brandon, same thing. How about you? Is what's the fulfillment date looking like?
So the expected date that you see on Kickstarter is January 2024. It'll likely be before that because comics completely done. We've already hit funding, so if someone backs the book, like you're guaranteed to get the book. So when it comes to digital stuff, like that'll send out like very soon after the Kickstarter. Physical stuff, people can expect that November, December.
Awesome, man. Great job. Yeah, let me share your campaign link out as well. So check both these guys out, both great dudes, and they're both putting out some cool comics. So check out both those links. And like I said, they'll be in the description of the video tomorrow. Anything else you guys want to shout out, like your social medias or anything like that? Where are you guys active?
You can find me on the Twitters, also known as X, and the Book of Face.
Book of Face, is that okay? Nice. Is it, what is your just look up your name, or is it like
Timothy Lee Olson, and this is there's an explanation for this. Ols Max on Facebook. That was actually originally my backup profile.
Okay.
Facebook moved my original profile that said Timothy Lee Olson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you had to get like a different one. Okay.
I had to use my backup. Yeah.
Awesome. And then how about you, Brandon? Any social medias you want to shout out?
So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Dismay Comics, DISMAY Comics. I got to spell out Dismay because sometimes it sounds like a southern drawl version of Disney. Like I don't want the mouse. I don't want the mouse knocking at my door. So
I went to Disneyland.
I love it. Yeah.
But yeah. So you can check out that stuff. You can see me do stupid promotional stuff as Hypno Ray. It's a lot of fun.
Smart, man.
Thank you.
Smart way to bring it around to your comic,
It worked out perfectly because Gallows Man would have been a custom suit that would have cost hundreds, if not $1,000. Mm-hmm. This is like $40. It helps a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that the idea for the tinfoil hats is awesome. You should do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah.
It's very hipster of you. Very, you look good. I mean, it's a good look.
If I do the tinfoil hat,
he just needs the mustache with the twirling ends on it.
If I do the tinfoil hats, I'm gonna have to probably get my sister and just have her sit down so I can do it because I've got a giant head. So,
or maybe that'd be a little thing you can do at your table if you go to a convention. Your sister or somebody can make the hats for the kids.
That'll also be an eye-catching thing where it's like, what the crap is going on over there? So
you just made. Honestly, this is what, if I had your comic, this is what I would do. I would make a sign that said, "Get Tales from Town City #1." Whatever you're going to charge for it, $5-10, plus you get a free tinfoil hat, and
I think I'm going to do that. That's
dude. I think it'd be great. You make a little sign and then like Johnny said, put a QR code or put a sticker for Dismay Comics right on there. Golden, man.
Then you'll need coupons for tinfoil. For real.
Yeah. Well, that's also another thing is these cost nothing.
And the coupons, give that away as well.
Yeah.
Both. You get both, and it adds that like perceived value that people. It looks like you're getting a lot of stuff for a little bit of money. It's perfect, man, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money to make that stuff.
You could also turn it into a scavenger hunt where, like, say if you're at a convention, you just take a QR code and you put it like
and a sticker at a certain place in the venue, and you can kind of like send people around. Like be like, okay, if you're gonna play the game, here's the tinfoil hat, and then send them
That's
like
a good
looking
idea,
around
yeah.
to different spots. And you can use QR code stickers everywhere that you place to send them to the next direction until they, in the end, maybe get like, a free preview of the comic, or don't forget to drink your Ovaltine, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
That's
Or maybe
if I do that, that's probably what it's going to be. It's not as much as like, crap. But
That
like,
would be
yeah,
funny.
something like that within the Town City universe of like that. Like that's
so
fun.
right
I
now
like
you look like Waldo's cooler brother or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can have like
No,
a, like a wear.
Waldo's hipster brother, right?
I
Right.
look like Waldo's brother that went on a wild acid trip and never really came
Perfect.
back.
Yeah.
You're still hiding. That's so yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's great. Fun stuff. So Johnny, anything you wanted to shout out this week before we start wrapping up?
Yeah, nothing in particular, but I just wanted to take a moment to just say thank you to you guys, Brandon and Tim, for coming on the show, for
Thank you guys.
sharing your projects with us. I mean, you guys both have really awesome projects that I'm excited to find out a little bit more about, when I get copies eventually. And I encourage the audience to back their both their projects on Kickstarter and on the Fund My Comic. Yeah, on the Fund My Comic site. It particularly Fund My Comic site. I mean, it sounds like it's a brand new platform, or it's fairly new or whatever. So throw a little support there too,
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Show
check that
love,
out. See what's on there. What else? What other books are on there and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you guys both for coming in. And then Harry, did you have anything you wanted to shout out this week?
Well, not to bring things down because we're having fun here, but my best friend Lucy's just lost her uncle last week, and so I just want to say I just want to give a shout out to George Wisniewski. He was a great painter, great artist. I'm just looking at some of his stuff right now. I was trying to find a website where you can see some of his paintings, but it's George Wisniewski, Wisnowski.
He was an artist. He was
a fine artist. He painted. He did like his dad actually made jewelry with like
Was he from Leominster?
He was actually from Westford, my hometown, Westford.
Westford, okay.
Yeah. So there's a thing here, the George Wisniewski Fine Art America. So if you look that up, you can see some of his paintings. He's very, very talented, and he was like a young guy at 62 years old, and had a heart. He was trying to be the past 6 years. He was trying to get in shape. I mean, he was in shape, but he hired a personal trainer, and like on that really hot day that we had recently, that was like 96 degrees. Remember that day that we had?
Yeah.
So he went to the gym that morning, and then I think he was like working in his garden or something, or yard, and had a heart attack, and stinks.
Oh, beautiful, like rural life paintings. Like
are you looking at it? Yeah, it's really amazing. Yeah, her whole family.
Put the website in the private chat, Harry, and I'll bring it up so we can take a look at it.
How do I even?
It looks like he did acrylics, but he also did watercolors as well.
Oh yeah, water pastels.
Yeah.
Her whole family, Lucy's whole family, is artistic, or they're either artists, musicians, dancers. Like they make. They're all very talented people.
Brandon, you're on the website. Can you share your screen?
Yeah,
share your screen.
I'm on Google Images.
Okay. Okay.
But
I just wanted to take a look if we could, real quick. Give a
little salute to George.
Let me see.
Or go ahead and give it to me, Harry, and I'll bring it up.
Oh, it's gonna look. I don't have the.
What's the name of the website? Is it?
You can go to Fine Art America.
Yep.
George Wisniewski.
Wisnowski. Yep.
Yeah.
But I've known him for like over 2 decades. Like, really great guy.
That stinks, man. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah. He was the one guy that I went to when I went to like family outings, my friends' family outings. He was the one guy I could sneak away with and like just say, let's get out of here. Let's like talk about anything else, you know. But yeah, there's the stuff. Very
Beautiful
talented.
artwork,
Beautiful
yeah.
work.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's some dope stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always admire painters, like, because like to take like an image and then just to recreate it on a canvas with colors.
That's what she would do. She would take his tripod, his like canvas, and go up with like paints and pastels. Yeah,
especially like the watercolors. It's watercolors. It's so
Messy?
random what they can do sometimes.
Yeah.
And
I
just
got
seeing like
frustrated
how
with it.
artists can work with it.
Right.
I used to have to take all those art classes. I got frustrated with watercolors and pastels. Like I was just not good at it. So I admire anyone that could do it,
Yeah,
So
thanks
that's
for letting
great.
me. Thanks for letting me do that. For giving a shout out to George.
Yeah,
amazing
absolutely,
artwork.
man.
Yeah,
Rest
for
in
sure.
peace. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's always
It's always
sad
tragic.
when somebody from that creates artwork and, or anyone that passes, but like,
Right, really.
but it's
Yeah.
like, I always feel sad when like someone that was a creator,
I can tell you a really sad. I mean, if you have time, I can tell you a really sad story because he was one of 3 brothers. I mean, he had 2 sisters too. So 5 kids in the family. So his older brother died years ago, and his second oldest brother, he was a musician. He sang a song called "Sea Breeze," and he played it at the older brother's funeral. The Billy, the guy who died 2 years ago, he, is the guy that sang the song, wrote the song. They played it at his funeral 2 years ago, and now, like full circle, they played his song "Sea Breeze" for George's funeral. So it's just like sad to like,
like
almost right. It's just like, and he took care of his mom too. His mom is 95, 96 years old, and he was her caregiver. So now I'm like, I don't know who's gonna watch over it.
happen there. Yeah.
So I'm really concerned. I mean, I don't know. Just life's can be pretty sad sometimes. But
yeah.
Probably just
that's the truth.
I
That's why.
take okay.
Go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it sounds like it just happened and it took you by
Oh
surprise.
yeah, it was completely, a surprise to everybody. Like it was unexpected. So,
My condolences.
Yeah,
thank you.
definitely.
Likewise.
Condolences, Harry.
Yep.
Seems like a great dude, from what.
yeah, I mean, I don't, I meant this. I never know what to say at services or anything. And I hugged his wife and I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't know what to say. It's like it's okay.
No one does. No
Right,
one
right.
does, dude.
Yeah.
And one of his daughters, I went up to her and she reminded me of Brian the dog, from Family Guy. I don't think I remember. Like this, he had a very deep voice, and he wore glasses, and he would always talk in that same Brian Griffin, way, So,
Right.
Yeah.
but very funny guy, very dry sense of humor, and it's like, same. I don't know. I'll miss him anyway. So
Yeah, no.
too bad.
Well, condolences, man.
Yep,
Sorry
thanks.
about
Condolences. Yep, for
Yep.
sure.
that. And I don't
Sorry
feel
to bring things down, but
Yeah. That's all right. I was the only thing I was going to add that is I am almost done completing the Mighty Mascots campaign. I have about 20 packages left to send out, and then I'll be done. So
Hell
I'll be closing that out hopefully next month sometime.
Nice to be in that home stretch, right?
I know it's taken me forever to get here, but I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully
nice.
by midweek I'll have it all out the door, so I can't wait.
not right now though, because it's like raining. I don't know if you can hear out your window.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna wait till the rain passes before I bring it down.
We could use the rain.
You don't
Yeah,
live in
yeah,
Washington
exactly.
State, do you?
Yeah, right.
It's
Go ahead, Terry. What were you gonna say?
no. It's like Washington. It's been raining here, like in Portland, Oregon, or Washington. It's like every other day. It's like raining. It's like almost every day, bro.
Where are you at again?
We're in Leominster, Massachusetts. So,
Okay.
but I've been to Portland many times. I know how it is.
I wouldn't go to Portland
Yeah.
ever again.
It's almost like we live in Sin City, where it never
Really?
stops raining.
or on the set of Godzilla or something.
Paints our lives.
Yeah, right. That's amazing. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this one up. It's actually almost going on 2 hours now. So everybody, thank you so much for coming on. Tim, Brandon, great to see you both. And back these guys. They have great projects. And yeah, most importantly, read some comics, and we will see you next week with another episode. And good night, everybody. Have a good one.
Good night,
All right.
guys.
Short,
Bye.
be kind to